Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. If you are, in fact, somehow your parents or grandparents are showing this to you, I'll call myself Grandpa Marty. And it usually is that young kids don't want to listen to old people. Another thing that old people tend to think that young people can't do a lot. Well, really, I've been amazed at what some young people, whether they be 5 or 6 or 10, can do. So I'm going to treat you with respect, and it's possible that I'm going to be speaking too grown up for you, but I'd rather do that than talk down to you. So this is the advice that I would give you. I was trying to think about if I had a few minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes to talk to a young person, 5, 6, 8, 10 years old. These are the things that I would say. Try to get your parents to let you do the after-school activities that you really want to. I've seen too many parents push their kids to play the piano or the violin who hate it. Insist that you get to do what you want to do that's maybe builds on your strengths. That makes, like if you like reading, let your parents let you read in your room after school a lot. If you like playing sports, maybe have your parents sign you up for softball. If you like to just relax a little bit after school and you just want to look out the window or listen to music, there should be time for that. Make time for that. Try to get your parents to do that. Now, after you have tried to get that and your parents say no, or your parent says no, try to listen. Try to listen really well. Maybe they have a good reason. Most parents really love their kids, and because they've been living longer than you have, they may know more. So try to listen and see if that makes sense, and ask why. I know parents sometimes get sick of kids who ask why all the time, but you're entitled in general to know why. Now sometimes, if every night they're telling you to come to dinner and you don't need to say why. But if you really don't understand why your parents want you to do something or don't want you to do something, if you can politely ask, why? I don't understand. You'll probably get a decent answer, and you may learn, and you're entitled to know reasons for things. And in general, when you grow up, trying to figure out why something is the case, why something is true, will be good for you. Now, I suspect that was too grown up what I just said, but I'm sorry. I want to talk about an example from my own life. When I was a kid, one of the things that I liked to do was play the piano, but I refused to practice. My parents got me a teacher, and I would just refuse to practice. But I loved trying to plunk things out, play the piano by ear. And I want to demonstrate how I did that. Instead of playing the stupid scales that the teacher wanted me to do, this really mechanical junk, which I'll show you for a minute what that's like, I wanted to plunk things out by ear, and I thought maybe you would like it if I did that for you now, so I'm going to do that. Okay. So, the piano teacher wanted me to play scales, things like this. I found that really boring. What I wanted to do was see if I could plunk out songs that I knew, like Chopsticks. So I, of course, make a lot of errors in the beginning. I would go, oh, that's wrong, that's wrong, baby. That's wrong. And I would keep learning what was right and what was wrong. And eventually I could play like this. Now, I can't read music. That all came by figuring out, making mistakes, getting it right, making mistakes, getting it right. And eventually I trained my ear so that I could play anything that I could hum. And I started with one note at a time, but little by little I made it more complicated. So I have that talent to be able to play the piano. I had a good ear. But if your talent is drawing or reading or playing with friends or sports, it's usually a good idea to try to get your parents to let you do what you really like to do for fun. Okay, now something about friends. Most kids care a lot about friends. And in fact, having good friends is one of the most important things you can do to help you grow up kind and smart. So some kids are like kids who are not such nice kids, who are real troublemakers, let's just say. I know maybe you're too young to hear this, but try to be friends with good kids. Kids who are like you, who are about as smart as you are, maybe a little smarter, who are as kind as you, maybe a little kinder, who are as hard-working as you, maybe a little harder working. And be nice to them. For example, share your toys with them. Ask them what they want to do. Don't, say, oh, we're going to play basketball. Hey, I think we should play basketball. What do you think? That's what a good friend does. But if you find the friend taking advantage of you too much, that always wants to do their activity, or they borrow something from you and never give it back and don't apologize, or they make you feel stupid or less than they are, maybe that's the time to break up with a friend like that and find a better friend. We all deserve good friends. The other thing I want to share with you is many young kids your age have more ability than a lot of grown-ups think that you have, that you could do this. So see if you can create something. Maybe not just what's required in school. Maybe it's a garden, whether it be in your backyard or in a little community area where you can plant something. Get help from a grown-up or older kids. But see if you can take charge of it. See if you can try stuff. Be creative. Maybe you want to write a little story. Maybe you want to write a picture for a book. Maybe you even maybe you've got on your phone you can take a little video. Maybe you want to take a video of what it's like to be a 6-year-old or an 8-year-old. Maybe you want to make up a song. Maybe just the words. Maybe just the music. But again, ask for help when you need. It's hard to do it by yourself. But even if you're just 6 or 7 or 8 or 9, you may be able to do much more than many adults let you think you can do. You're the king or queen. The other people are your advisors. And the final thing I want to share with you is probably deep down you know that your parents want the best for you. Now there's an occasional parent who doesn't, but almost all parents want the best for you. Try to do what they say. I know there's a temptation for you to say, no, I don't want to. I want to play video games for 5 more minutes. But usually parents are right. They have lived longer than you, and they do care about you. And so they know a fair amount about what's right, not just for you, but for the family. Besides, by you saying yes most of the time, you're making your parents' life easier. And grown-ups' life isn't so easy. And you're just being a good kid and a little bit more grown-up kid. Anyway, those are my best advice I would give to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old. It may be even good advice for all of us. I'll repeat just the main points. Try to get your parents to let you do the after-school activities that you really want to, not necessarily because your parents think it's a good idea to take violin lessons. Make and keep good friends. Kids who are nice, as smart or a little smarter than you, as kind or a little kinder than you. Do ask why, even if your parents get frustrated with you asking why. If you really don't know why your parents want you to do something, or why the sky is blue, or why they make you go to school, or why you have to do homework, it's a good idea for you to be asking why. Even if your parents get frustrated sometimes, and sometimes they'll say, it's because I told you so. It's not a great answer, but it's usually a good thing to ask why. You may have more ability to do stuff than many grown-ups think you do. So create something, a garden, a book, a video, make up a song. Ask for help when you need it, but pretend you are the king or the queen or the president of that project. And finally, if deep down you know your parents want the best for you, do what they say. They're usually right. And besides, it is hard being a parent. Every time you say yes, you make their life easier, and you're being a good boy or girl and a little bit more grown up. In any event, those are my best advice. I suspect that the people who are going to be really watching this are parents and grandparents. If you think this was worthy, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. I welcome your comments, and especially like it if you hit the share button below. Share on your social media so that my efforts can have broader impact. And I am flattered if you do subscribe to my channel. In any event, I do thank you for watching. I'm Marty Nemko.